Dave Parody here with another slide makeover video podcast based on the ideas in my book, The Visual Slide Revolution. Today we're going to talk about quotations, and they're used often in presentations, but I think we can make them more effective when we add a visual to it. And today's slide comes from a presentation I attended a couple of weeks ago, and here's the quote that they used. Now, this was a presentation in a context of a service. And this is becoming more common, by the way, I'm finding in a variety of different religions where they use a quote from their particular text and put it up on the screen. It certainly it shows the words to everybody and you can read it, but it doesn't maybe add as much as it could in order to bring this quotation to the audience in a way that really is meaningful. This applies to any quotation, whether it's a quotation from a particular text or if it's a quotation from a famous person like Mark Twain or Gandhi, somebody that you're wanting to use a quotation from. So let me show you what I did with this quotation, and then we'll talk about what you can do with quotations. So here's what I did. From the rising of the sun to the place where it sets, the name of the Lord is to be praised. So what I did is in behind the quotation, I put a couple of photographs. One is a photograph of the sun rising in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, and this is a photograph of the sun setting in Huntington Beach, California. And because they're photos that illustrate key parts of the quote, it adds to the meaning of the quote for the audience. And in this way, we can make any quotation so much more meaningful. I happen to pick out phrases within this quote, but you'll see in the lessons an alternative that sometimes is going to be more appropriate when you have a famous person who you're quoting. So before we get to the lessons, again, if you want more information on the book, go to www.visualsliderevolution.com. For more information on my training, consulting, and other video resources I have, go to my main website at www.ThinkOutsideTheSlide.com. So today's lessons for adding a visual to a quote. First of all, look for the words in the quote and look at the clues that those words give you to find what visual would illustrate the main point. Now, it may not be a photograph. It may be an object, an illustration where you have something moving to illustrate the quote. It doesn't have to be a photograph. Yeah, one alternative to a photo or some sort of other visual that will illustrate the point in the quote is to use a photo of the person who said the quote. Again, Gandhi, Mark Twain, whoever it is. Now, where do you find photos that you can use that are easy to find? Well, Wikipedia, the online encyclopedia, has a portion of it called Wikimedia Commons, and they have accessible photos that you can use. And one of the important reasons that you need to really check out where you're getting the photos from is because you need to make sure you have permission. Now, the Wikimedia Commons is one of the sources, and there are others out there where you can find that give you permission to use the photos in certain ways. Always read the terms of use for the copyright. Sometimes you can go to a foundation from that person, or maybe a news organization that gives you permission to use their photos, but always make sure you have permission. Today's photographs are ones that I took. So I have permission because I am the photographer. I hold the copyright on those photos. But always make sure that you are thinking about that. And if you're going to use a photo of a person, when you arrange it on the slide, always set the picture so that the person is facing the direction of the quote, because people look where someone else's eyes are looking, so always place the picture that way. And finally, you can build the quote and the visual, the photograph, visual, whatever it is, on the slide. So as you saw I did today, I had one photograph full screen and then it faded into the second photograph, so I was building it. What you may want to do if you're using a photograph of a person is to have the photo of the person come up and then give some context or background. Where were they? What were they talking about when they said this quote, so that people understand the setting, and then display the quote on the slide so people can put the quote in context. Quotes can add a lot to the meaning of what you say in your presentation, but when you're using quotations, look for opportunities to add visuals to make those quotations more effective. This has been Dave Parody with another visual slide makeover.